Hello and welcome along to the Project Cars 2 Virtual Racing League, where today you join us for round 5 of this spectacular championship that we run in the IndyCar Championship, of course. And today we're at Sonoma Raceway, a very hilly, very demanding circuit, quite a bit different from the circuit we were last at, the Indianapolis track. Although it is a historic track, it has only got 4 corners, whereas Sonoma has something like, I think it's 16 corners, don't quote me on that, might be wrong, but it's got 160 feet of elevation, which is a fair bit in fairness. Lots of blind crests, lots of camber changes. It's probably the most demanding circuit of the whole calendar for these drivers, so let's hope they've done a little bit of practicing at least. And we know that Alex Brown, he never does any practicing, but today he's actually practiced, so let's see what he can do as well. That might be quite exciting to watch. 10-minute qualifying as always, 30-minute race, and as ever the accelerated tyre wear, with mandatory pit stops as well. I think the drivers may need to change tyres on this one. Alex?
Yeah, definitely need to change tyres, as it's such a hard track for them. And the driver stands there after his win at surprise win at the Oval. Scuderi Sam takes the lead of the championship with 133 from Alex AGL, who had a poor race and is on 115, closely followed by Stuart Davis. And Roger in 4th, brings off 5th, who had a great podium. And team standing, team spin still in 1st place at 205, followed not far off, but he's Scuderia Man with 197, followed by Alex Brown. So that's 2 drivers, not the one man himself, with 182 points. Olympic Zell had 1 for 1, and then Fantastic 94, and then a couple of mixed teams at the bottom there, so they're on odd points.
Yeah, the qualifying today looks like this. Roger the Dodger starts on pole position. It was a very tight shootout between him and Alex EDL and Scuderia Sam. However, Alex EDL starting last due to a connection issue during qualifying, unfortunately. But he's got a lot of pace, so look forward to seeing him come through the field. Stuart Davis promoted to 3rd place with Alex Brown there in 4th. He's practiced for this one, so watch out for him. Stalker Brown, Luke McGee, Twingo-tastic, and Free Gazelle there in 8th, who's still getting a handle on this circuit. So, on the start line now, you can see Scuderia Sam in the red machine rolling forward slightly there, eager to get away, and they're off now, and he's had slightly worse start than Stalker Brown, up to 2nd to Stalker Brown, and battling away as they head up the hill here to a tight turn 2, side by side they go, blind off-camber exit. Already the drivers are absolutely having to hang on to these cars for dear life, full tank of fuel as well, of course, side by side still, very little contact so far, so really good effort between the drivers here. So Roger the Dodger getting a great getaway, Scuderia Sam off on the sort of dusty grassy stuff on the outside there, Alex DL's up to 7th already ahead of Free Gazelle, Twingo-tastic's falling back down to last at the moment, and Stuart Davis is 5th, so Alex Brown's had the jump on Stuart Davis. Alex Brown going well there in 4th place now, chasing hard off to Stalker Brown, who had to go up the fight eventually to Scuderia Sam, but he's hoping to stick with him now. And Scuderia Sam runs slightly wide, but he'll get a better exit. Oh no, it's Stuart Davis round. He's, I think he's just let up his rears quite possibly, or took a little bit too much apex speed as one of the advertising boards goes flying there. And Luke McGee is just ahead of Alex CDL, who's now up to 6th place. So, yeah, promoted due to Stuart's little spinning incident there. So unfortunate for Stu, he's going to have to come back through the field. Oh, and by the outside of Luke McGee is a head down now into the last proper corner of this circuit. A tight hairpin corner, right-hander, and Alex CDL right round the outside of, well, he tried to go right round the outside of Luke McGee, but Luke McGee was having none of it, got a great exit as they head over the line now to complete lap 1, rising on board with Alex CDL's green machine. And he's all dived down the contact with Luke McGee there. What's happened is he's still ahead, so they continue to fight for another day. But this has allowed Free Gazelle and Twingo right on the tail, but now it's Alex CDL right down the inside up the hill past Luke McGee, and still battling away. Twingo-tastic taking full advantage with Free Gazelle still pushing them along, and this has allowed Stuart Davis now to catch right back up to this little gaggle of cars here, all battling away really hard in these opening stages as Twingo-tastic runs a little bit wide, and that's allowed cars on the inside now, but he'll have the inside for the next corner, Alex.
Yeah, great little battle here, and it's for the last 4 places, and well, I say that, it looks like that's a hell of a dive from Stu as he goes straight on. Oh, that's Twingo around, he collects Luke McGee, and Twingo fully around, and somehow Free Gazelle's lost his front wing, but I think that amazing start from Stalker Brown was actually a jump start, so he's in the pits and he's way off, 27 seconds off the leader, which is Roger Dodger, who's already pulled out a 1.4 second gap, almost 2 seconds, as you see. Alex Brown now, like I said, he's actually practiced once and he's on the podium, so it's looking good for him so far.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a gap to the cars ahead, but he's got a nice gap behind as well to Alex CDL. But Alex CDL, we know how fast he is. He's charging hard now, up to 4th place after just a couple of laps. So he'll be hoping to catch the likes of Roger the Dodger and Scuderia Sam out in front. But Alex Brown's not going to be easy to pass. So yeah, see how he gets on. Roger the Dodger, though, calmly extending his advantage at the front now over Scuderia Sam. It's up to 1.7 seconds. Scuderia Sam just trying to keep Roger in sight, but he's really struggling in these early stages just to hold on to Roger. Roger's got such pace. Of course, he won the last race we had at a proper track in this championship in the Indy GP circuit, didn't he? He won a tight battle there over Scuderia Sam and Alex EDL too. So Roger's got form, and he knows he needs to win this today to make up for some points lost at the last race in Indianapolis.
Yeah, definitely. He didn't have the best run. He was battling with Twingo, I think, for 5th place, whereas Sam won, and this man, he didn't have the best run. As he's going off, oh, well held. Shows a bit of advertising as well, but that was almost a sketch moment. He's really pushing, but he may kill the tyres, so there's a chance to pit early, but absolutely going for it at the moment. Still not the fastest person at the moment. That is Roger with a 16.9. Sam going faster, so that's interesting. Sam could be starting to eke up the pace. See what time Alex does now, 16.6. So still not the fastest person on the last lap, but reeling in Alex Brown lap by lap. You can see how close they are now.
Yeah, and the aero wash is quite big with these road course cars, isn't it? With all that aero, all the massive wings that got hanging off these cars. Alex Brown there, just absolutely pushing for dear life. You can see how hard he's pushing. Well, both of these Alexes are pushing very hard, and we're going to have an Alex battle soon. With the two Alexes in the field. Alex EL is obviously a slightly faster driver at this circuit, but Alex Brown looks like he's ready to put up a fight, so we'll have to see when he gets there. He'll be there in another few corners, I would have thought. Yeah, where's the best point to overtake on this circuit then, what do you say? I mean, the obvious one is the last corner.
I was going to say, last corner, if you get a run into the first corner, maybe on the outside, and you're brave. Hard to say really. This place seems to be a favourite. Basically slamming the boost button about this here, and you get a hell of a run with, especially with slipstream. As you see, Alex looks like he's doing now. He's absolutely reeling him in. He may go for a dive on the inside. Yeah, he's going for it. Dives down the inside. Alex Brown's not having it though. Oh, they're going to go. Oh, both into the barrier. I think two.
Yeah, Alex Brown tried to stick it around the outside there, didn't he? A great dive from Alex CDL. But yeah, no room for Alex on the outside. Those tyres come at you quite quickly. They sort of jut out into the track a little bit too. It really narrows that exit slightly. And yeah, for two cars to get round there side by side, that wasn't going to happen, unfortunately, for Alex Brown there. So he's lost a little bit of momentum on the straight, so he's fallen back already now to a second behind Alex EDL, but Alex EDL now has a 5-second gap to make up to Scuderia Sam in second, who is now starting ever so slightly just to haul in Roger the Dodger.
Yeah, he's definitely started to push. I think he's got into his rhythm now, which is quite nice for Scuderia Sam. As you can see Roger there now as the camera pans over to him. They seem very well. Roger gets the fastest lap on the previous lap, but they're usually very even around this track. They both seem to enjoy the difficulties a bit, but you have to say, I wonder if they'll try and save the tyres a bit, go longer on them, because the longer you can save these tyres, the better you're off for the final sector of the race.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if these drivers are saving tyres right now or not, to be honest. They're looking like they're pushing quite hard. Scuderia Sam had some margin, didn't he, coming around the last couple of corners we were watching him there. It didn't look like he was absolutely on the ragged edge, so maybe they are conserving them slightly. But yeah, absolutely, these drivers will be needing to change tyres, but they don't want to change too early, or they won't have anything left for the end of the race. So they do need to stay out and suffer a little bit on these tyres for as long as they can. Alex CDL seems to go well on more worn tyres too, so he could really come into play quite soon, Alex CDL, even though it looks like he's 5 seconds behind right now. Really don't count him out at all. And Stuart Davis in 5th now, so he's now catching Alex Brown, so there's a battle for 4th and 5th possibly on the card soon, with Luke McGee in sort of, yeah, close, well, he's within watching brief, isn't he, Luke McGee?
Yeah, but you can definitely see on board there with Stu how much the tyres are getting affected. Usually they take a tighter line, but the front is just washing out as the grip just suddenly goes away.
See it again there.
Yeah, so it's not nice, and a few drivers are saying in practice that they were killing their tyres by lap 5 if they were doing constantly hard runs. And the hard tyre, I won't say what some of the drivers said, word for word, but they said that the hard tyres are awful around here, so it's going to be quite hard for the drivers to pick which compound they'd like.
Yeah, it's a family show, so not the exact wording, but yeah, no, you're right, Alex. The compounds are definitely an important part of the strategy here today. But yeah, you can use whatever tyres you want. There's no rule on what compound you want. You can choose. You can put anything on you want. I think Alex Brown, I think he stuck all terrains on it once by accident. So yeah, it goes to show you can still be competitive even on all terrains, or fairly competitive. Obviously, it's not ideal. They want to stick the slickest, stickiest tyres they possibly can. But yeah, Scuderia Sam now, you can really visually you can see he's closer now to Roger the Dodger. So I don't know whether Roger's doing some conserving of his tyres maybe, or maybe Scuderia Sam's been using some boost to try and close that gap a little bit before coming into the pits. But this section here, following behind another car, is very difficult. I mean, it reminds me a little bit of Beckett's and Maggots, you know.
Yeah, it's like the cheaper alternative one, but I have to wonder whether, like I said, whether Roger's saving his tyres. I have to wonder the same with Sam, because Alex did almost a full second faster that last lap.
Yeah, good point that. And what's he doing? 16.4, is it for Alex? 16.4. Stalker Brown comes in the pits. Oh, he's coming out of the pits, sorry. Oh, he comes right into the middle of this battle for the lead here. To Stalker Brown, who's right ahead of Scuderia Sam. That's held up Scuderia Sam slightly. So good news for Roger Dodger, but he gets out the way. Helpfully for Scuderia Sam there. But Stalker Brown, he's after his drive-through, he's kind of out of it a little bit, isn't he? He's trying to catch up to Twingo or Free Gazelle by the end if he possibly can. As we look now at Twingo-tastic. And Free Gazelle is in the pits. No, he's just come around the last corner.
Yeah, it's another a track where it's got a super long pit lane, which feels like it's going on forever. So that's probably why, obviously, Stalker Brown had his drive-through, but that's probably why he got lapped again. As we see, who's that? Stu. Well, it should be Stu, as he's in the only Doom car, catching up to Alex Brown now. So battle for fourth underway.
Yeah, it feels like he's been catching him for a number of laps here, but he hasn't actually caught him yet, if you know what I mean. So whether he's just stuck in that aero wash sort of zone, a second or 2 seconds back from the other car, or whether he's just biding his time and waiting for the pit stops, yeah, it's hard to tell at this stage. Hopefully all will be revealed in due course. But Alex Brown driving a very fine race here in fourth place, just ahead of Stuart Davis. So Stuart Davis, of course, still in contention for the championship as well. He's in third at the moment in the championship. After two very strong oval rounds and some decent results too in the other races. So yeah, he really is in the championship hunter, Stuart Davis, so he'd like to get past Alex Brown as quick as he could. Of course, Alex Brown's got his own agenda too. He needs to get some points, make up some points for his little speeding incident in Indianapolis, because he's very much in the midfield battle. So two drivers with things to fight for here. They don't really want to be tripping over each other.
Yeah, definitely. You can see how horrible this sector. It's probably the hardest corner of the track. It's off camber, it's uphill, and when you want to get onto the throttle, there's that going wide there. The car just wants to spin on you, so you have to be super careful. To see a great view on you, to see all the undulations, and both cars washing out on the front, trying to get them to tuck in, but they just don't want to. So Stu tried to dive here earlier, and it looks like he might try it again. He's alongside, big dive. Oh, he's dived so far he's off camera. He's back now though, and takes fourth place from Alex.
I'm surprised if he doesn't have to give that position back, if I'm honest. He kind of just ran Alex out of room there, but I think he's on his way. I don't think Alex is going to protest it too much. They're not really in the same championship fight, are they? But Alex is in fifth now. Stuart Davis, let's see what sort of pace he's got now. But Scuderia Sam really now right on the back of Roger the Dodger. You can see how much closer it is. So if these two start fighting, Alex DL, he's closed in too. So these top three are getting ever closer, lap by lap. Alex DL might be thinking about pitting soon as we approach halfway. He could take advantage if these two start battling, couldn't he?
Definitely. I said the air wash is going to affect Sam now, but if the tyres have got that bad on Rogers, you might be able to keep up with him, because he definitely was catching the entire time. As we've seen now, it's at least two battling. But like you said, they have Alex and Fresh here, who will probably be reeling him in lap by lap. So it could be a chance to undercut, especially now, or it could be a chance to go long, as he definitely seems to have the pace on him.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think someone might be pitting soon. We'll have to wait and see as they come through the last sector now. And the pit lane is on the outside of the last corner. Like you said in the last race, Alex, why do they make these pit lanes so awkward in America?
I'm not sure really, as we see Sam diving in really fast. Got it stopped pretty well too, so not a bad job. And Alex has followed him in, so that's interesting. Both be going on to fresh rubber, probably the softs, as the hard is not very good around here. But Stu will be promoted up to second, hasn't pitted yet, but he may be able to do something with it.
Yeah, Stuart Davis up to second, like you say. Roger the Dodger will be pitting in due course, you'd imagine. Yes, he's on very old worn tyres now. His last lap was an 18 something. Oh, look, very close in the pit lane there. Scooter Sam had a bit of a longer stop than Alex CDL, and Alex CDL is close right now to the back of that red machine. So, yeah, first and second in the championship, in that order now, coming out the pit lane. What order will it be by the time they get round the next lap, I wonder? Are they going to be fighting each other hard, or are they going to be taking it sensible, considering that Roger and Stuart are out there in first and second at the moment? Time will tell, but no, it needs to. They're probably just going to be going at it as hard as they can now, as they get back up to speed on these fresh tyres. They don't want to wear out too quickly, though. They've got a long way still to go in this race.
Yeah, I have to say Sam may have the advantage on the fresh tyres. He seems to be more comfortable when he's got more grip under him. But you have to. It's hard to say what the.
Visibly, Alex. Sorry to interrupt, but visibly you can see the cars like darting into the corners. So much crisper, aren't they?
Yeah, you definitely see on this corner. Oh, look, cut away. But if we were staying on that corner, like you said, they'll be able to hug the apex so much nicer and actually be able to put the power down when they want it. As you see Alex Brown, excellent bit. You see the front just washing, wanting to go towards that wall. It's not a nice thing to drive. You can see where his Twingo was in that just before in the blue car. He was going really wide, and saying that Alex goes wide there, they can really push where they want it.
Yeah, just watching these drivers pushing is like, you almost feel like you're in the car, because there's so many little nuances in this circuit that can catch you out. As Alex CDL gets a little bit of a moment there in that hairpin. There's so many little places on this circuit which, you just clip a curb the wrong way, take a little bit too much speed over the brow of a hill, a little bit too much angle on the steering wheel, run a little bit wide, get on the throttle a little bit too early. It's just so many places where this track can punish you. So yeah, these drivers really are living on their wits here, trying to get every single bit out of the machines as they possibly can.
Yeah, and talking about getting every little bit out of Freezel in the pits, Roger's really pushing these soft tyres. Lap 12, that's what was unheard of in the practice. They were worried about just getting him to lap 5, so he's really comfortable with these. His lap times aren't that bad. They're definitely slower than Sam's at the moment by half a second-ish, so it's not even that bad. He could probably stay out a couple of laps longer.
Yeah, he's probably watching that timing screen just like you were then, Alex, actually. Twingotastic, massive moment. He gets back onto the circuit without hitting anything substantial, thankfully. Stuart Davis is in the pits, but yeah, Roger's probably looking at that timing screen as well, isn't he? Thinking,
I think.
Yeah, not going too badly.
I think that's Roger in the pit now in the distance. They missed him pitting in, so this is pretty big now as Sam will be closing right up onto him. See where he goes past. Goes past Stu, goes past Alex, and that's Roger coming to the pit and that, and Sam's jumped him for the leader. So is Alex. Alex got him for second place, so he'll be on fresher tyres, but he's lost 2 places.
That's surprising, that is, because his lap times didn't look too bad compared to Alex or Scooter Sam. But I think that just that last lap look, a 1:16.3 and a 1:16.2 for Sam and Alex respectively. That's what did it, is that last lap there. So possibly a lap too late there in the pits for Roger the Dodger. Yeah,
lap too late, and you saw all the traffic in the pits. I can hold you up for half a second. All you need is half a second. You've lost 2 places, and we see now when these two are really pushing hard for the lead. So that factor in as well. I'm not surprised Roger's lost a couple of places, but he lost a couple of places at which track was it? I think it was Indy GP, and he came back to win.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And also, as Alex runs white now in that aero wash, gets back on the track safely though and continues the battle with Scuderia Sam. These two really pushing hard. These old rivals and old friends of the league, really going for it. And then another championship battle on hand as well. Alex CDL looking down the inside there, doesn't quite get the speed he needs out of the corner. but really going for it now. Roger the Dodger will just be saving his tyres a little bit. He knows he's going to have much fresher tyres at the end of this race, and that could really bring him back into play. So he's definitely not out of this fight as Roger the Dodger, because we've seen how much pace he's got, and he's going to have a massive tyre advantage by a good few laps come the end too. So just imagine whether that's going to be enough or not really come the end, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, well, hopefully when they go through the timesheet, as we see Sam and Alex battling away, we'll see if he's managed to get those tyres up temperature and really started pushing. As these two, it's quite interesting. Sam's faster in the first sector, Alex seems to be faster in the second one. Well, not when he's doing that, but for some reason through the twisty S's, Alex seems to have an advantage over him. Because I definitely think Roger's putting those new tyres to advantage. You can see he can really just turn in and get the power on as early as he likes.
Yeah, it's crazy to say, it feels like they've only just come out of the pits, but already these tyres are being absolutely punished, such as the nature of this circuit, on Scuderia Sam and Alex CDL's car. So, like you say, Alex, already Roger the Dodger will start to go his way ever so slightly on the tyre wear front from now on in, and it'll just keep coming to him from now on in as well. So it could get really tasty towards the end, especially as the fuel burns off and the cars get even lighter and more edgy. And the nerves get higher and the gloves come off. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens between these three drivers who the last few rounds have really shown that they've got a little bit of a pace advantage, haven't they, generally speaking?
Yeah, definitely. Roger's really shown that his one lap pace, and these are just incredible. As you see Alex, ooh, big sideways, they really push to try and get past Sam. He doesn't want Sam to get away. Sorry, excuse me. As they're going to be absolutely caning in tyres, and I think this is going to cost them dearly towards the end of the race. Like I said, Roger's got a lot better tyres, but we don't care at the moment. It's great entertainment to see in this battle.
Yeah, Alex Didiel just showing a nose in the wing mirror of Scuderia Sam there, trying to distract him a little bit, just showing that he's still there and he's still intent on making a pass anytime he possibly can, because he does not want to be stuck in the middle of a three-way battle. Oh, and off again. He's done that a few times now, but hopefully he's had a lot of practice at saving it there too. So battle continues. He doesn't lose that much time. They're coming up to a back marker, I think. Were they in the foreground there? Possibly.
It looked like it, unless it was Twingo going off into the pits. I think he struggled this round. No, he's still ahead of him.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens here, whether Twingo just lets the cars pass or not. It's Stuart Davis now coming into that corner, so you can see he's a little bit behind. But isn't it incredible to see the top three cars separated by 3 seconds after 16 laps of one of the most demanding circuits on the calendar?
Yeah, so I think the only one that will come close to this is possibly Cota when they go to that. The first section is based on Maggots and Beckett's, and that is a very bumpy, hard track to work on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Everyone loves Cota, don't they? It's probably one of the best new circuits that anyone's designed in the world, well, recently, the last sort of 5 to 10 years. But yeah, back with the action today. Alex Didiello, who's dropped quite a bit of time now, spinning round in the back there. Oh, that's Roger. He's been involved in an incident with Twingo Tastic, by the looks of it, as he's come to blows with there, as he's been lapping him there. Unfortunately for Twingo, that's spun him right round, and unfortunately for Roger, it's dropped him back. He's lost about 2 or 3 seconds in that, so that could be really painful for him come the end of the race. He really does need those 2 or 3 seconds for his tyre advantage to pay off and for him to be in striking range, but he's still got plenty of time, so it's not all over yet by any means. It could have been a lot worse there for Roger. Yeah,
as you think Twingo go, I think he's really struggled unfortunately, and last place, I think he just wants to try and survive the rest of this. And what's interesting, look at the timings, is Sam seems to have completely dropped Alex now, so almost 2 seconds between them.
Yeah, obviously a bad lap for Alex in the last one, and obviously a bad lap too for Rogers. Alex Brown only just comes in the pits, so I don't know how he was making those tyres last for so long. Fair play, and fair play to Alex, but he's in the pits now finally to change that rubber. They must have felt absolutely awful by that stage. No wonder he was dropping off the pace of Stuart Davis, but he's going to have a huge tyre advantage now in this closing stages of the race to go back and attack Luke Mbukji and Stuart Davis with, see if he can get any close to them.
Yeah, whether that was his game plan or not, or whether he just wanted to see how far he could go. It's certainly. Oh, that's Alex around. Ooh, he holds it just about, but that's going to be Roger surely going through. Yeah, Roger around the outside. Yeah. Oh, disaster for him.
that is a complete disaster for Alex because he's got a tyre offset and now he hasn't got track position either. So yeah, you're going to have to summon all of his incredible skills. You know how fast he is to try and get back on terms with Roger here and keep him in sight as he now hunts after Scuderia Sam. He's got nearly 5 seconds to make up and he's got a good few laps left to do it. So yeah, Roger's really coming alive now, and he's ahead of Alex CDL, so that's one car less for him to worry about. You can see that car has still got plenty of grip. You can see it darting through the corners.
Yeah, that Doom car of Roger looks so well balanced. You see Freegasel coming up to be lapped, and I think he's lapped by Sam already, and Roger V next as we see the gold car going through this really horrible long left-hander. It's going downhill, so you can get the power on a bit early, but sometimes it can trick you. But who's this? No, is that Sam going through? I think that's Alex he's overtaking. As Alex goes onto a different track altogether, I'm not sure where he's off. Yep, there he is. Making his own line. Yeah,
I mean, he did practice for this one, so I'm not sure. He hasn't got many excuses this time round, but yeah, no, he got well out of the way, didn't he, for leaders? Fair play to Alex, he's in a really good race himself, and he's actually behind Freegasel somehow after his pit stop, so yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to Alex Brown now. He's lost a lot of time. He was really in the thick of the action for 4th and 5th places as Roger the Dodger makes his way past Freegasel. Freegasel very fair in the last corner there, and Roger now is only 3 seconds off Scuderia Sam, so he's closed in by about a second or so. Really bad lap for Scuderia Sam the last 10 rounds.
Yeah, I wonder if he had a clash with Freegasel going through. We didn't see it, but Freegasel didn't have his rear wing, so there's a possibility as Alex Brown pits again. I wonder if he didn't like that set of tyres, he wants another set.
He might have stuck the all-terrain tyres back on it.
Yeah, especially after the little excursion, so as Alex gets through lapping with Freegasel. I don't know what it is with that corner and Alex. He likes to really swing the back end around, which isn't going to help his tyres at all.
Yeah, it's a good point. There's a lot of different lines around the corners here, isn't it? It just sort of lends itself. There's not really one line. A lot of the corners feed into each other as well. So you're not really treating each corner in isolation. You have to think about what's coming up, even 2 or 3 corners ahead, rather than just a single corner. And the camber and the elevation changes just adds to that. So yeah, it's a really technical circuit, and the drivers that shine here are the ones that can think a few corners in ahead, I guess.
Yeah, especially the likes of Roger, Alex, and Sam, and even Stu. Obviously, there's no Irish drivers today, unfortunately. No D-Man, no Chris. Well, I don't think Chris has run any of the IndyCars. It's not his sort of deal. But they can just basically see the corner ahead, look ahead, know where they want to point the car, and the car usually goes unless you're Alex, who usually spins. But there's only a half spin today, so he's learning.
Yeah, that's true actually. He's spun a lot less. Since we had all that wet weather, courtesy of Terry, in the Formula C Championship that we ran before this one, he seems to have spun a lot less. So, I don't know, maybe it's the new Fanatec he's got as well, but he's certainly found a lot of consistency, which tends to be Scuderia Sam's strong point. He hasn't always got the outright speed, but he has got a lot of consistency. But talking of outright speed, Roger the Dodger here is absolutely like a bullet now. Look how close he's closed in. 1 second though, 65 the last time round, over a second quicker than Scuderia Sam. Scuderia Sam's going to really have his work cut out to keep him back, I think. Twinkotastic, we just saw, he's in the pit lane again, so not sure what's happened with him. But yeah, the fight is really heating up now for first and second, and if anything happens between them, it could also bring Alex into play, you never know.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Rhys. Roger's really reeling it, and he's just got the lap times 100, and it just shows that Sam's tyres are dead. But looking at where Twingo going in now, and he's in the background there, I think he's retired the car. He wasn't having the best of race, unfortunately, but he'll come back stronger and carry on then. And you'll see now on board with Roger just how much better these tyres are. Look, they're just going where he wants to, gets on the power so much better. Brakes later, Sam's washing out the front, he can't even hit the apex there. Roger can, he's right on the gearbox.
Yeah, so this is going to be the widest red vehicle you've ever seen in your life now. He's going to have to guess whether Roger's going to come for an undercut or he's going to try and go around the outside. What's he going to do? Scuderia Sam's going to hold the inside line because that's the best way to defend this particular corner. He thinks so anyway, but Roger's now going to look for the cut back. Oh, he's going down the inside. Oh, and there's slight contact between them. That's disadvantaged Roger slightly. Scrubs off some speed. Scuderi Sam just about gets away with it and away again, but Roger's still hunting him hard. That was a nearly could have been a big coming together between them then.
Yeah, that was really lucky for Roger, and Sam could have spanned Sam as we saw with Roger, and I think it was Twingo. Twingo went to thing. As we see, oh, Roger's into the barrier. He's hit the barrier. He's miscalculated his brain point. That puts Alex through. Just on the inside. So Alex back up to second. That's really inconvenience for Roger. But Roger will be right on the tail of Alex, have the better grip because Alex's tyres is completely dead after his spin. But Sam really getting lucky here and got back up to a 3-second lead.
That's incredible. Roger looks surely going to get past Scuderi Sam. Like he's just driven past Alex now. Alex's tyres absolutely finished. There's no chance of him defending that. And Roger is on his way again now. But yeah, that's incredible. I mean, he just clips that wall. He's probably never done that before in practice. Probably to drive 100 laps here and never do that. So unfortunate for him. He looks absolutely sure to pass Scuderi Sam at some point, didn't he?
Yeah, just a miscalculation. Looking at the corner ahead or the driver ahead, just because they're not the widest things, but that tyre barrier is awful. It juts out more than the wall, so just caught him out on that lap. But it's a costly lap for him.
Yeah, but he's still pushing hard, as only Roger knows how, and he's got another lap or so to go until the race is over. But yeah, he's 3 seconds back, so he's going to have to do the absolute lap of his life now to catch back up with Scuderi Sam. But Scuderi Sam on highly worn tyres, it's not over at all, because he needs to be really careful now that he doesn't spin it, because one mistake from him will let Roger through and then it's game over. So really tense now as we head on to what looks to be the last lap here, Alex.
Yeah, last lap, and like I said, Roger's got to put the lap of his life in, but he's taken a second out of, more than that, almost 2 seconds out of Sam. So he's really doing it. There could be a chance to catch us at the end, but he's just got to put it together, keep it clean, hit every apex, and hope Sam makes a mistake, even if it's just a poor exit. It'll help him. He's clawed back half a second now in the first 2 seconds. It's the last second he really needs to be careful. As we see Alex Brown now trying to chase Freegazel on the last lap. Obviously he'll have better boots as well. And no, he's into the barrier. That's really good. That's Stalker Brown up to 6. So Stalker Brown's making a late comeback and passing Freegazel.
Yeah, he'd be really happy to be up there in 6th after his jump start earlier on, and he's been through the pits a couple of times today, as has Alex Brown as well, and Luke McGee. We haven't really talked about him much, but he's up there in 5th. He's been trying to chase hard after Stuart Davis, but not quite had the pace of Stuart today. And Scuderi Sam now coming to the last corner. It's only just over a second between him and Roger. Look how much Roger's closed in. He's like charging after him like anything. You can see him right behind, but he powers out of the last corner now, and Scuderi Sam is going to nick the win here, just from Roger the Dodger, who is absolutely on it towards the end there. His tyre strategy looked like it was actually the best one to come back on fresh tyres towards the end. But unfortunately, a couple of little incidents put paid to his challenge, Alex. And Alex CDL coming home in 3rd there. Great race between those three there. Yeah,
really great race. It was, like I said, Roger really had the better tyre strategy, but one silly mistake has really cost him, as you see. Stu now, he's saying hello to his old friend. As you see Loopy coming through for a great finish for him, 5th place. That's a good, strong position. As we see Stalker Brown now fighting back from last place, drive-through penalty, early pit stop. Oh no, he's into the barrier. That's not going to help him. But he's in coming home to 6th place as we go to Freegazel. And looks like on the timings, Freegazel and Alex Brown are seriously close. Alex Brown's got him on the last corner. He's got him through, and he's coming home 7th as Freegazel finishes 8th.
Oh, incredible. Great finish between those two on the line there. Look how close that was. It was just a few tenths of a second. Alex Brown would be happy to get that after, seemingly going on the wrong tyre or something. His strategy didn't quite work for him. He had the pace for a little bit higher up than that. But anyway, confirmation of the results. Scuderi Sam. Roger the Dodger, case of what could have been probably for Roger today. Alex CDL just faded on his tyres towards the end slightly in 3rd, but good haul of points again. Stuart Davis in 4th, Luke McGee in 5th. And this is what it does for the driver stand-in. So a healthy lead now for Scuderi Sam over Alex CDL. A 9-point margin between 2nd and 3rd place Stuart Davis. And Roger the Dodger closing in on Stuart as well. So really nice little battle shaping up there for second, third and fourth at the moment, but it's all to play for still. And 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th place there. Three Gazelle, Stork Brown, Luke McGee and Twingo Tastic also having an epic battle. And Alex Brown making up some good ground today on the D-Man who wasn't present with us today. And the team standards as well, it's quite close, Alex, isn't it?
Yeah, Team Spin leading the way as usual. First place at 265. Second place is seriously close at the moment, especially with Sam's win with him only 7 points ahead of Team Alex Brown. Then Loopy Gazelle sort of in no man's land there in 4th, McClassic 106 then. Yeah,
fascinating race here today. Where are we next? Is it Watkins? Actually, can't remember.
It is a favourite of yours.
Oh no, it's Laguna.
Yeah, that's it, Laguna Seca.
Laguna Seca. That's your favourite, isn't it?
Less said.
Alex Brown loves that one too, so he'll be practicing a little bit more and hoping to get his strategy right as well. So yeah, the Laguna Seca, maybe a bit of a Marmite track. Some drivers will love it, some drivers will hate it. But yeah, we can't wait to see you there. So join us next time.